I slammed the brakes of my old Chevy pickup, sending a spray of gravel across the driveway. There she was, Linda Harris, perched atop my rainwater tank like she owned the place, wrenching the valve open with a vengeance. Water gushed out, cascading down the hill of my Colorado ranch like a river set free. My heart sank. That was thousands of gallons of clean, hard-earned rainwater, me lifeline for crops, animals, and emergencies gone in seconds. "Hey," I yelled, leaping out of the truck. "What in God's name are you doing?" Linda spun around, her oversized sunglasses slipping down her nose. Without missing a beat, she yanked out her phone and screamed into it. 911. "There's a dangerous man on my property. He's back early from his trip and threatening me." My blood ran cold. This woman was on my land, sabotaging my tanks, and now she was calling the cops on me? She pointed at me, her voice echoing across the valley. "He's armed. He's violent." I wasn't armed. I was holding a greasy bag of burgers from a roadside diner. But the way she carried on, you'd think I was waving a shotgun. Sirens wailed in the distance, closing in fast. My fists clenched as the last of my water drained away, and I braced for whatever Linda was trying to pin on me. Let me back up. My name's Tom Bennett, a 52-year-old retired Marine living on a 60-acre ranch in rural Colorado. I bought this land with my savings after leaving the service, craving peace and quiet far from city noise and nosy neighbors. I raised chickens, grow vegetables, and built a sturdy cabin in the heart of the property. My nearest neighbor is half a mile away, and I'm not part of any HOA. Or so I thought. 2 years ago, a shiny new subdivision sprouted up across the southern ridge, cookie cutter houses, white picket fences, and a hyperactive HOA led by Linda Harris. Mid-50s, blonde bob frozen in place. She's the self-appointed queen of Heritage Hills, acting like her HOA badge gives her divine authority. From day one, she had it out for me. My chicken coop was an eyesore. My rooster was too loud, though you could barely hear it from her property. She even demanded I repaint my barn to match their beige and gray color scheme. I laughed her off, but that only made her more relentless. Last week, I took a 3-day trip to visit my brother in Wyoming. I left the ranch locked up tight, with my buddy Mike, a local mechanic, checking on the animals. Everything was fine until Mike called me 2 days in. "Tom, there's a black SUV parked by your tanks. Some woman in a tan jacket was snooping around." I told her she was trespassing, and she waved a clipboard at me, claiming she had authority. "I think she's messing with your water." I told him to snap a photo and avoid a confrontation. By the time he got back with his phone, she was gone. I cut my trip short, packed my bags, and drove 9 hours straight back to Colorado. That's when I caught Linda red-handed, standing on my tank like some deranged water bandit. Those tanks aren't just for show, they're my lifeline. Out here, dry spells hit hard, and city water is unreliable and pricey. That water keeps my crops alive, my animals fed, and my ranch safe during wildfire season. Losing it isn't just a hassle, it's a threat to everything I've built. As the sirens grew louder, Linda kept up her act, clutching her fake HOA badge and screaming into her phone. "He's aggressive. He's coming at me." I stood stock still, one hand raised, the other clutching my burger bag, trying not to give her any ammunition. Mike's truck skidded up behind mine. He jumped out, shouting, "She's the trespasser. We've got video." But Linda just screeched louder. "Now there's 2 of them. They're threatening me." The sheriff's car roared into view, kicking up dust. Linda reached into her tote bag and pulled out something metallic that glinted in the sun. Mike's eyes widened. "Is that a wrench?" Before I could process it, the deputy leapt out, gun drawn. "Step back from the tank. Drop what you're holding." I froze, my burgers hitting the dirt with a pathetic thud. Linda was still screaming. Mike was trying to explain, and I stood there, framed on my own land, wondering how this could get any worse. The deputy's gun stayed trained on me as Linda wailed about me stealing water from their subdivision. I was dumbfounded. Stealing? This is my land, my tanks. Mike handed over his phone, showing the time-stamped video of Linda opening the valves. The deputy's partner, a younger guy, watched it and shook his head. "Ma'am, this property isn't in your HOA. You had no right to touch his tanks." Linda sputtered, claiming a recent expansion gave her authority. The sheriff wasn't buying it. "You're trespassing. Leave now, or you're under arrest." She stormed off, but not before leaving a cease and desist letter taped to my gate, demanding $2,500 for unauthorized water infrastructure. I laughed bitterly, then called my lawyer, Ed Grayson, a grizzled 60-year-old who doesn't suffer fools. "This is harassment," Ed said. "We'll hit them back hard." But Linda wasn't done. 2 nights later, I woke to a hissing sound. Grabbing my flashlight, I found my backup tank's cap unscrewed, water leaking out, and fresh footprints leading to the road. The security camera? Spray-painted black. I was running out of water and patience. The next day, while I was hauling water from a friend's farm, Ed called. "They filed an injunction, claiming your tanks are a health hazard. They've got drone footage from your property." I gritted my teeth. Drone footage? That's illegal. Things escalated when a tow truck showed up at midnight, sent by Linda to repossess my tanks. I called the sheriff again, armed with my deed and zoning papers. The driver backed off, but the deputy warned me, "This HOA's out for blood. Watch your back." Linda's next move was a smear campaign. She posted doctored drone photos of my ranch on the HOA's website, labeling it a toxic water dump. Comments from residents called for my tanks to be torn down. She even threatened to cut off the area's utilities. When I checked my backup generator, the lock was cut. The switch flipped off. My stomach churned. This wasn't just harassment, it was war. I fought back. With Mike's help, I recorded a video, standing in front of my barn, holding my deed. "I'm Tom Bennett, a retired Marine. I own this ranch legally. The HOA next door, which I'm not part of, has trespassed, vandalized my property, and tried to steal my water. I'm asking for your support." I posted it online, and it went viral 300,000 views in a day. Veterans groups, homesteaders, and even local news picked it up. The HOA's Facebook page was flooded with criticism. Linda doubled down, holding a press conference, claiming she was protecting the community. But her own neighbors turned on her. Leaked group chats showed her bragging about teaching that rancher a lesson. 2 board members quit, one publicly apologizing for targeting me. The final straw came when I caught Linda on camera again, this time with a crowbar, toppling my smaller tank. The footage was undeniable. In court, Ed presented everything: videos, maps, expert testimony proving my tanks were legal and safe. The judge didn't hold back. Linda was found liable for vandalism, trespassing, and defamation. The HOA was fined $65,000, ordered to pay my legal fees, and barred from contacting me. Linda's face went pale as the gavel slammed. She tried one last desperate movie and eminent domain claim, arguing my land was needed for stormwater management. Ed laughed it off. "HOAs can't file eminent domain. We hired an environmental expert who proved my ranch had no impact on their drainage." At the state court hearing, the judge shut it down, fining the HOA another $25,000 for abusive litigation. It was over. Linda resigned, sold her house, and left Colorado. I rebuilt my tanks, bigger and stronger. That night, I hosted a barbecue for friends, neighbors, and even ex-HOA members who apologized. As the bonfire roared, I raised a glass. I didn't want this fight, but I learned you don't let anyone steal your peace. Sometimes kindness means standing your ground. Cheers rang out under the stars. My ranch is mine again, quiet and free. But this fight taught me something deeper about power, greed, and the lengths people will go to control others. What do you think? Have you faced injustice or bullying like this? Drop a comment below and share your take on standing up to abuse. Let's hear where you stand.